welcome in umbraCoffee episode 280. Again, not in person this time, but we are back in front of our monitors and our screens, and we're all missing Codegarden. And I'm joined today by two amazing brand new Umbraco MVPs as well, Blake and Aaron. Hi guys, how are you doing?
Hey, doing good.
Hello.
To everyone who is speculating that we might be pre-recorded or not live, Blake, we can probably start from you because big kudos here for making it happen. Tell everyone what time it is for you right now to join us.
It is 3:33 in the morning here. This is a little early.
So are you a night owl or a morning person? So did you wake up or did you stay late to make it happen?
I actually woke up because I am definitely a morning person, so I'm just starting the day early today.
Thank you very much for this dedication, and thank you for everyone who is able to see you here. And Aaron, is a almost normal time zone for you. You are in UK, right?
So it's coming up for lunchtime now.
Cool. And you are here for the first time in umbraCoffees officially. So we know the format. We will be going through everything what happens in Umbraco, and of course highlighting your activities in the recent time. But yeah, let's start from this Post-Codegarden Blues. There is a lot of social activities, a lot of social posts and pictures flying around the web from Codegarden. And Aaron, you missed it this year. You missed it this year, but you watched the live stream. What is your kind of take on and takeaways from this year's Codegarden from your perspective?
Yeah, I couldn't get to Codegarden in person, so I obviously watched it on the live stream, and yeah, I think there's a lot of good things coming. I think it's in a good place at the moment. I was quite excited to see, especially the new back office as it comes forward.
Yeah, that's true. And Blake, you were there speaking after a long break from attending Codegardens. How it was for you?
It was a blast. I've attended virtually in the past, like in the past recent years, but going in person, so much different, and just reminds me like how awesome it really is. And just seeing everybody too that I haven't seen in like forever. It was so much fun. It was good times, lots of good talks. I had a really great time.
That's true. Same for me. And even though we were, of course, summarizing all of the days on the Umbraco stage, I missed Friday's episode because I was traveling in the morning. But videos like this from Carol and pictures are not reflecting it 100%, but they are these small pointers to everything what happened there, and it was really, really amazing. And I think that everyone who is just considering going next year will definitely feel a little bit of FOMO from this year. But Blake and you, Aaron, you've been both awarded the Umbraco MVPs award this year. So congrats officially here. Can you share anything from this perspective? How did you find? Were you surprised, or it was like something normal for you? Maybe starting from you, Blake, because it's a beautiful placed statue on your desk here.
I was definitely surprised. I mean, that's a big award, and it's just like always seemed kind of unattainable. And then I was like, oh my gosh, are you serious? I was definitely doing a happy dance over here. I was super excited when I found out. So I thought that was really cool. And I'm like, oh, now I get to do all the things because I want to keep it going and keep helping out. So I'm excited.
Yeah, and what about you, Aaron? Of course, you've been doing a lot of great stuff recently, and not only recently in the Umbraco community. And finally, this award arrived to you as well. So how did you find it from your perspective?
Yeah, I was quite surprised to receive the email that says, you're an MVP and that, and it doesn't change my mind on anything that I've done. Everything I've done for the community over the years has been for the community, but it just reinforces that it's been welcomed. All the help that's been given.
Yeah.
I remember for my first MVP that I was feeling like that blessed and happy that it turned me a little bit down after all. And I do remember like, oh, what now? I need to do more now maybe, or I need to keep up the level of my involvement. But after a little while, it came back to normal. And I hope that it will be the same for you guys. So yeah, that's amazing. And again, congrats for this achievement. There is a blog post for everyone who is not up to date with all the Umbraco MVPs and announcements. It was released on June 14th, straight after the keynote. So there is a list of all new MVPs, and congrats to everyone on this list. If you were on Codegarden or you were not, still big kudos for all the contributions. Great names and great set of new MVPs, and of course all the renewed MVPs. And yeah, big list of great people and great personalities sharing their knowledge and doing a lot of amazing stuff for Umbraco. Same with this announcement. There was a Flickr gallery released yesterday. I don't know, Blake, if you have seen this already or not yet, because there are great pictures from the whole event, from the Codegarden and also the business summit. And it's another resource or the source of the information where we can relate to these pictures. I really love this clothing of the new Umbraco t-shirts. A lot of confetti, of course, and a lot of great smiles and people enjoying the event there. So yeah, please, everyone, of course, all of the links to everything what we are discussing today will be in the video description on YouTube, but you can also find it on the web, and find yourself, share the pictures, and share everything what was there with everyone who might be interested. Blake, how did you find the distribution of the rooms in the new venue? Because for the first time in the Codegarden history, I would say, it was done in the multiple smaller locations. I thought that it would be tricky and hard to align, but for me it wasn't a problem to move from one venue to another. Was it a trouble for you or anything which you found different or difficult?
I think it was fairly easy. I think my biggest thing was actually like I felt like I was kind of rushing to get in between them so I could get all get all around. I'd see people in passing and be like, "Hey, we'll have to link up later." But I made it through to all of them, so it was nice change of scenery, and then how the rooms are all laid out too are a bit different. So it wasn't too bad.
And I think we can also say, because Aaron, you were watching live, and not all of the talks, of course, were streamed, and also for some of the people, it was a surprise that not all of them were recorded. But that's how it is, and we were, as the speakers, also informed that not all of them were recorded. Did you watch all of the talks that were live streamed, Aaron, or
I tried to. There was a few which had stream issues, which were quite hard to watch. But I had it running like constantly on in the background, so I had it keeping an eye on it. And the ones that I did manage to catch, they were great. I just wish that they'd done it a bit more like the lockdown one, where you had a wider range, of streams that you could join.
Yeah. And Blake, you tweaked the system really well, because you had your personal assistant and personal video recorder, your mom.
Yeah.
that was an interesting approach.
One way to do it.
So you have your own personal recording of your talk, and we've been discussing this of the record, that it is an amazing way to, of course, first of all, relate back to our talk and of course our performance, then maybe tune it a little bit or see how it was done. And you haven't watched it yet. That's what you shared with me. So.
Yeah, it's not like I start it and then I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch this. I will get there.
So yes, anyone who is interested in Blake's talk, of course, the link will be in the description, and it's on your Twitter as well. So feel free to watch it, maybe before Blake, and share your feedback, because that's for what it was made. Yeah, I think it was really well organized, even from the speaker's perspective. I can just say that it was great. Everything was according to schedule, and I was amazed how professional it was. And of course, same from the umbraCoffee barista perspective, the level of quality on streams, the pictures which people are sharing right now from recordings amaze me all the time. So big kudos to Umbraco, to everyone who was involved in making it all happen, because it was the biggest Codegarden ever for the in-person attendance and also for the online audience. And yeah, it's definitely a lesson, another lesson for upcoming years, because we all know right now that the dates for the new Codegarden were announced. So we can all hopefully prepare for the next year to see what is coming next. One thing that I wanted to also mention and list out here is Umbraco Awards. And I don't know if it was streamed or not. It wasn't streamed. Probably it was streamed, right? Around the Umbraco Awards ceremony or not?
Yeah.
Yes. So I think it's great, and I was mentioning it before the Code Garden that I truly enjoy watching someone else's work, and I'm always inspired and always amazed by the level of projects and solutions that are every year nominated and then awarded. So this year the set of awards also didn't disappoint me. It was an amazing set of projects, amazing awards, amazing solutions. So for all of those who potentially missed it, check it out and feel inspired, because it's a lot of great websites and solutions, and all the people who were taking the awards, they were always sharing the amount of work, late nights, communication challenges, and everything what was combined with this big result that we can see now. But of course we all know that it's a lot of effort and a lot of work needed to make it all happen, but these projects are truly amazing. So that's it, and there's a lot of blog posts as well. One thing that I wanted to mention, I don't know if you've seen this, guys, idea which came out from Soren Kotl about the something what can be done with your brand new status. So assuming that it's the 2023 was the first year when you received the MVP, but then you are renewed on the potentially next year, the years after, and of course you, unfortunately, I don't know if you know, but you won't receive another statue. It will be the same Umbraco statue staying with you. And then the idea come out that maybe we will do something with it. Maybe some 3D printed tables, or I don't know how to even name it. But of course, the idea evolved, and Steve Temple made it, made a prototype of of this. And I truly believe that it might become a thing, because, but then the challenge is for people like Matt Braceford or Lee Kelleher to have 11 or 12 of this standing somewhere below another. But yeah, Umbraco community is creative, and I think I will find out solution for that. But I don't know. Have you seen this flying around?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Looking forward to some cool evolutions of this. So
the longer running MVPs will end up having this huge towering.
And that's the proof of the involvement to the community, right? So maybe a higher ceilings, or I don't know what is needed then to be a long time Umbraco MVP. We'll see. And one thing that is maybe worth mentioning, there was a renewed battle between the Matt Braceford and Lee Kelleher. This year it was a boxing match. So they were fighting again for they were putting packages and boxes together, maybe to be more precise. That was fun. Have you? Who was your Blake's favorite in this battle?
I don't know if I had a favorite. I was just like, oh my gosh, they're really boxing here. And then it was kind of hilarious that it ended up being actual boxes.
Yeah, that was really fun. And yeah, I kept fingers crossed for both of them. But for all of those who haven't seen Matt win this battle, and maybe the next years there will be a way to revenge, and we'll all see another games and boxing done there between two of the amazing old-timers, Umbraco MVPs and package creators. Just to wrap up the Code Garden topic, there was a lot of blog posts flying around the web. And Script team made a mid-month digest summarizing all of the ones that were found. And I think one is worth mentioning, because Mikkel, who joined us on stage on the day 2 on umbraCoffee, he was there for the first time. He wrote the great blog post summarizing his experience from the first Code Garden ever, and it was very nice. Also highlighting his personal feelings about the community and so on. So it was a great starter for the blog posts and summaries done by other community members. And after Mikkel, there was a lot of great blog post stories. Carol shared her as vlog recordings done on her mobile. Dennis, Kevin, Ravi wrote a blog, and I will link all of them in the description as well. Lucy wrote a LinkedIn blog and summary from her perspective on the Codegarden, there was a lot of great stories. Imran and the Coworkers team also wrote theirs summary of everything what they've learned from the event. So a lot of stories, and probably more to come. One thing about Matt is watching us here. He didn't take any pictures during the Codegarden, but he started doodling again. I don't know if it's the word, but Matt summarized the event from his perspective by this amazing drawing, including some highlights, some hidden bits, and Easter eggs from the event, including various cool things. And he also drew another new one doodle today with Rune and Lottie and the Umbraco Olympics team, which is amazing. I love this drawing. So Matt, please keep them coming. They are such an amazing reflection of what is happening, or what was happening during the event. So I truly love them. So this is Codegarden wrap up. Anything, guys, from your perspective to add? What would be your takeaway, or maybe something what you've keep in your mind after this year's edition? Like anything what you've remind?
Oh my gosh, there's like so many things. I think personally my goal is to try and get back in person like more frequently, because it's an experience that you just don't get fully when you're online, and it's so much fun.
And Aaron,
all the tweets really, as I tweeted, it always makes you feel like you're there in person with the pictures, the videos, the involvement. And I think next year the aim is to try and get there in person and actually experience it for real life.
Yeah, that's true, and it's very hard to replace it with anything else, because we are always saying that it's not a typical IT conference. It's not a conference like all the other conferences, and for all of those who were there once at least, they know that this is true. And every year people are trying and seeing if this will be changed, or if anything will be more corporate like that. And no, nothing like that. Still, the team is keeping the high level of fun, engagement, and knowledge at the same time, because I can just say that at the same time it's still a lot of valuable input and knowledge being shared by great keynote speakers. I missed most of the talks, I can just say that, but I've attended a couple of the small bits of the talks that were done as a keynotes, and they were great. They were just amazing, and there was a lot of other great inputs shared by various speakers. So again, big kudos to Umbraco and everyone who made this event possible. And we are all looking forward to more and another editions and another events on our maps. Ravi shared here that Kyle did a great video about the business summit, and it was linked in the blog post. So be sure to check it out for all of those who are interested. One new thing that I've observed this year are the Twitter threads about the summaries. And I did a small summary from my perspective, but I also saw Paul's doing a thread on his summary of the Codegarden, including various great pictures from pre-party, after party, or in between party. I don't know how to name it, but it was party in between of 2 days, and of course the conference days, hackathon days. Great summary, and again, maybe Twitter is a cool source of this kind of information as well. It's not a blog, but still a blog. I really like it, and I feel like there will be more of this coming back. I can't remember who else did the same this year, but of course, if anyone is following Umbraco hashtag on Twitter, be sure to find it out. There's a lot of great pictures and a lot of great summaries from people who were there, and videos of people dancing. I don't know. I'm not anywhere there. I will find out later. So yeah, that's Codegarden. That's the end of Post-Codegarden Blues. We can all get back to life. And speaking about life, let's talk about packages. the new releases this week, Limbo Recycle Bin, a pretty interesting one. I didn't use it yet, but it looks like it can help on automation some of the boring things that can be done in the recycle bin of Umbraco. So it can automatically delete items in the recycle bin that were deleted X days ago, so content and media, and it physical moves trashes media in items so they are not available to download, which is really cool as well. And I saw a couple of the solutions where it was a problem because people think that they removed something and they didn't, it's still available. So a really nice package and probably a nice one to be placed amongst our solutions.
What would be
Other
great to
package,
see
yeah.
with that one there would be there's been a bug in the back office for quite a long time. If you restrict the permissions of content, they lose access to the recycle bin. So it'd be great if that could fix that issue.
Oh, that would be really cool. And I think again, in the beauty of open source, we can probably summarize, share it, or suggest it, or even try to contribute on that one. But yeah, I think there's also a lot of discussions about moving some things to another dashboard section. I don't know if you guys follow that, because the content templates, for example, or idea of reusable content elements. It was mentioned like there might be potentially a new section, not content section used for that. So maybe in this case, this where recycle bin or trash or whatever can be made as well, extracting the permissions out of it. But yeah, that's an interesting one, and maybe something for Thomas or anyone else who can fix it. Other package from Limbo team, and Anders in this case, is Limbo URL Picker, and it's yet another evolution of the standard URL Picker, which has also a converter option attached to that. So for all of those who don't know, Anders and Limbo team is using a lot of converters on the top of the normal pickers and property editors, where we can manipulate the data in any kind of form and do something with it before they are potential to be used in front of our solution. So pretty cool one. And last but not least, from the marketplace at least, is Lars Nikander's Umbraco variant copy package, allowing copying content from one variant to another. Haven't used it yet. It's a brand new package being shared by Lars this week. So probably worth checking it out and discussing. Before we'll hand over to you, Aaron, there was two things mentioned by Steve Temple on Twitter. It's version 1.2 of Azure single sign-on package from Steve, and with the contribution from Soren here. And a small tease from Steve and Jive team about upcoming version of Accessibility Reporter. And I can say that also on this particular package, it was discussed on Codegarden that it's no longer needed for the Azure function to run to make it happen. It's a lot of plenty cool UI improvements in the reporter package itself. So I'm really, really looking forward to it, because to be fair, it's one of these packages that I showed for the people who are not technical, and they loved it. So it's, I don't know, Blake, did you see this package in work?
I didn't see this one, but definitely we'll be checking this out for sure.
And Aaron, what about you? Did you have a chance to?
No, I haven't seen it. But yeah, I definitely want to keep an eye on.
Yeah, it's like it looks just accessibility. Let's try the Azure search now. Here. Yeah, it's one of these that has this beautiful dashboard with the accessibility issues and potentially things to be fixed to make the website accessibility better. So I'm really looking forward to it. No rush for Steve and team in Jive to release anything new there, but it's a really nice package to look forward for more improvements.
I'm always impressed with a package which can do decent things in the back office with the Angular JS.
not for long anymore, right? So sooner we will appreciate all of the web components masters or people who will do framework independent implementations there. So not that far away now. But yeah, I do also appreciate packages that are tailored to like this. They are looking like a native packages, and of course only we know how much efforts were put there to make it like that. But yeah, then Aaron, over to you, because you've also released something cool this week, and you've been reporting the progress on that one on Twitter. It's called AMP Checkout, and please tell us more about it.
So it's about 3 weeks-ish of evenings and weekends and lunch times of work. Basically, the idea came around when I do some work for a charity website, and they were going to buy a vendor license, obviously Umbraco Commerce now. And now they removed obviously the cheaper license and replaced it with this 199 one, which is great. But for the charity in question, it's just not affordable. They just can't spare that amount every month. So I thought, right, well, let's make a package which is going to be mainly community driven. Once it gets out onto a V1, it'll be hopefully the community will start to come back with pull requests, and whatever. So I just want to get it to a point where it's usable out of the box, where one, you can completely do the whole thing within the back office. So once you've installed the NuGet package, I've included some surface controllers, some view components into the base, so you can just roll with it straight away. You don't need to actually go into your Visual Studio to wire it up if that's not your strong point, or you can fully extend it and add calculators for shipping or VAT or whatever you need to do. So that's kind of the ethos behind it, is to try and just make it like the formulate to forms. This would be like checkout would be like the community to Umbraco Commerce, basically.
Nice. And you have a demo to show us, but before I will add it to the stream, I will ask you, Blake, do you have an experience with e-commerce and Umbraco at all, or it was something like mine? I was avoiding e-commerce for a long time on purpose, and now I need to do more e-commerce, and it's not that fun.
Yeah, I haven't actually done a whole lot of it in Umbraco. It's been other systems, so I'm a slacker in that department.
Okay, that's an experience itself as well. But yeah, that's more to come. And of course, after vendors acquisition by Umbraco, e-commerce become a more discussed topic as well, because a lot of people now see a potential of using it maybe more in-house. There are a lot of other implementations like provider-based, also that Uskin team is doing, right? They also have a kind of integrations with a couple of the lightweight e-commerce systems that can be then crossed with Umbraco content, etc. So yeah, there's a lot of more potential. Of course, your package right now, Aaron, is another way of doing e-commerce with Umbraco. And maybe that's the time for you to show us what it can do.
So at the moment, I've built it so that it's solely using Stripe checkout. I'd like to get to a point where I'd use PayPal checkout, or offer Klarna, offer Go Cardless, just as different options. The next one will be adding the subscription support to checkout, because I think that's a biggie as well. So you can do subscriptions and reoccurring things, and I'll probably look at using Sebastian's. I can't remember the name of the package now. The scheduling package to tie that into that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've built the demo site around the starter kit because it already has products in it. So again, it's pretty straightforward. Again, all of this can be built without needing Visual Studio to get to this point. So I've been talking to a lot of developers that are coming over from WordPress, and they may not be confident in .NET or C#. So they can literally use the template editor in the back office to do this. And on the documentation site, I've put some example code which you can copy and paste to wire it up. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. So you can obviously add that to your cart, and it tells you you've got 2 items in the cart, which is the same number up here. And then behind the scenes, at this point, it does all of the plumbing required automatically to send it over to Stripe. And in this case, I've added the shipping on. At the moment, out of the box, Stripe checkout only supports basket-based shipping prices. So that would be something I'd hope the community could help with, would be to make it so there's a shipping calculator which could be done per product, because shipping a bench it's going to be more expensive than shipping a DVD. So
probably
something like that needs to be built in. So I'll show you the back office. This, as you probably saw in my tweet, was the extremities of my Angular JS knowledge to get it to this point. I've managed to do all of the property editors using the C#. So there's an API which spits it out, and then there's an Angular loop that makes it work, which was so helpful. But it's not documented, so it involved looking through lots of people's packages to work out how to do that. There's going to be two versions. There's going to be the community-driven free version, and then there's going to be a paid-for version. And with that, I means I can give a little bit more sort of one-to-one support as well and things like that. So out of the box, you get these top 3 options. Once you've got a paid-for version, you can store the basket in the cookie, or you can store it in the database. The idea behind the database would be you could pick it up and use it for analytical stuff. The cookie one is just to persist it, because at the moment it uses .NET sessions by default, which if you restart the site or the server restarts or the session gets cleared, the end user's basket obviously gets removed.
Fun fact on that one is I was recently working with the Shopify solution, and the client requested for the persistent card amongst the devices. So we were, and there is a plenty of packages for Shopify doing so, that they store the data between the data in the database between the devices, and if you are logged in, you can maintain your basket from desktop to mobile, from mobile to desktop, etc. So that's very useful for some solutions. But it's a huge potential for e-commerce solutions in Umbraco, because we haven't seen that much of this yet, right? So and for Shopify, it's normal, right? For example.
Yeah, I mean, you could totally with this database one do that. So there's a service and it returns a unique ID for that row. So if you wanted to build it around the Umbraco members area, and somehow associate that ID to that member, you could make it carry across devices. That's totally doable. And then we've got the shipping rates. As I say, this uses the default per basket setup, which Stripe supports. And setting it up is just a matter of adding the name that's shown to the end user. And then once you've created the rate in Stripe, you get a unique ID, which you add to that. So it's nice and simple. Same with the tax rates. Unfortunately, the Angular is actually broken on this page at the moment. But it worked exactly the same way. You give it the name, so VAT, and then you put in the ID that you've created in Stripe. And then it will add the tax rate to the basket. So if you go, not to the basket, to the product. So if I go to and again, I've done the tax rate per product, because again, as we know, some stuff is different rates for different products rather than per basket. I haven't actually good demo this. I haven't actually added it. So
that's the proof that we are live, and now we are testing. Fortunately, you are not at least doing the Angular hacking now.
Yeah. So we've got 2 property editors. One is the tax rates one, which obviously won't work because the back office is broken, but it gives you a checkbox where you can tick all the ones that apply to that product. So you could add like different EU VAT rates and things like that. And then you've got this metadata one, which allows you to put a key value pair onto the product, which gets passed over to Stripe. So you could, I don't know what you would add to that really. I'm not an e-commerce person, but you could pass over some things that you could call back when on the return from the checkout if you wanted, or whatever. Again, and that's just this is a core. This is a core product. I took out the core, which was the repeatable text strings, and I just added it so it could do a key value pair rather than just a single one. So yeah, that's kind of all there is to it at the moment. I opened up the GitHub repo earlier in the week. I've put, I think it's a beta 5 up on NuGet now, which should be installable. I think I've had a couple of people install it and use it and say it seems to work. So yeah, I'm just looking for feedback and testing. At the moment, during the development phase, I've put it on a GNU v3 license, because basically any tweaks to it that make it work, I would like PR'd back. I'm not comfortable that it's ready to be used in production yet. When it gets to the point where we're happy with it and everyone thinks, yeah, great, it's working, or there's no bugs, then I'll change it to the Apache license. Again, any tweaks then PR'd back. It's not quite as flexible as MIT. I've chosen that license to try and help it go forward. So if someone creates a payment provider for, say, e-merchant or something like that, hopefully they'd like to give that back, because saving the amount of time by using the package. Yeah, and there's a list of things. There's 11 items at the moment, I think, which I want to try and get through with a lot of unit testing things I feel it needs and things like that.
I truly like the list of on your tweet when you had a green tick box next to what you have done as a checklist on the progress. So yeah, it's definitely it's looking like a lightweight commerce solution that can integrate with Stripe checkout at the moment. Stripe is extremely powerful. I've used it amongst the solutions and the subscription base and stuff like that. That's a huge potential to that. And yeah, looking forward to some more tests. And of course, if you would find a use case for that, be sure to share it. And for all of those who are watching, if you will find a use case to use it, or you would like to test it out, be sure to test it out and let Aaron know about the feedback. It's all on GitHub. And yeah, it can be contributed back as you've shared. And you've started the documentation as well. So yeah, plenty of information already. Yeah, thanks for sharing this.
The documentation repo is open. If someone to tell me how to do it, I couldn't work out how to add the edit on GitHub button. No idea how you actually put it on the page.
Maybe it's a way to contribute as well. But hey, it's looking very good, and keep us posted on the progress of the work there. And of course, if there will be anything what is coming back from community, we will be highlighting it back. So that's really good one, and kudos for sharing it. So that's cool. No more packages that I've highlighted this week, to be fair. So that's good. And then, Blake, did you have experience with Stripe or any other provider in your implementation so far when it comes to e-commerce ecosystem?
It wasn't Stripe. I've used Shopify before, and also Epicommerce's solution as well. So different stuff, but this is pretty neat. And I'm like, ooh, I can document things and check this. So I just pulled up the repo. I'm like, I'm gonna start this one so I can come back to that.
I think I had this kind of aha moment when guys from Uskind were demoing their solution here a couple of weeks ago, and they had, there is a Gumroad integration in our roadmap. I said, I'm using Gumroad. I would really love to enhance this and build a website for a Gumroad product, for example. And there's plenty of these small systems that are around us, same as Shopify, which is very easy to be set up as an e-commerce solution, and then maybe enhance with some content. Maybe we don't want to use the typical Shopify, but maybe headless version of it. There is also a huge headless roadmap step for Matt and Umbraco Commerce soon, which is going to integrate Umbraco Commerce into the headless ecosystem that Umbraco is heading towards. So that's plenty of interesting things for the commerce around Umbraco, which is cool. And of course, as usual, it's more for us agencies and people and use cases to explore and find out which solution is better and which one is a match for the use case. So yeah, we will see. We'll find out. And as Matt said here, licensing is fun. And I was going to say when you were mentioning these licenses, Aaron, that it's another opportunity for us to educate ourselves more about the Apache, GPL, MIT and stuff. And I remember Plug doing some kind of a good LinkedIn post about it when he was kind of I don't know if it was in Spotify then or somewhere else, but he was sharing a lot of useful stuff about licensing. And licensing is not easy. We need to say that it's not easy.
I was talking to Sebastian about the license earlier in the week, and he was the one that made me aware of a few sort of things with the GPL one that I was like, right, yes, didn't think about that.
Yeah. And it's good to think about it before it's a need to think about it, right? Because then you turn out, I can't use it, or I can't sell it, I can't do this or that with specific decision that was made without knowledge. So yeah, share this knowledge as well with us, Aaron, if you will find out anything cool, and we'll keep up with this for sure. Couple opportunities to share knowledge are still ahead of us as well. Just to wrap up the opportunities ahead of us, there is a Melbourne Umbraco meetup on the 28th of June, and it's a virtual plus in-person event, so everyone can join if the time zone is suitable, right? Or maybe someone will join in not the most pleasant time of the day for them, but for sure it's an opportunity. Glasgow Meetup Group is also organizing a Codegarden review and Umbraco 12 recap on July 4th. And last but not least, the closest in time is Dutch Umbraco Meetup hosted by Corne and Doug user group, and it's on 6th of July, and it's in person. Also revamping and recapping what happened on Codegarden with a couple of great speakers, including Sidecore MVP, Umbraco MVP, Jeroen, talking about external login providers. So that's opportunities ahead of us. A couple of the small things to announce. There is also a webinar on Thursday, 22nd of June, about carbon neutrality and how Umbraco is approaching this topic. I heard discussions this year that last year the DXP was the drinking name keyword. This year it was sustainability. Because there was a lot of talks about sustainability, and of course it cannot be turned into the joke because it is an important topic. And Aaron, you probably also know it from the perspective of the hosting environments right now and all of the things that you're doing on this level. Because that's a topic, and Umbraco is doing a lot of efforts right now to make it seen, and not only seen, but make it really actioned in terms of the Umbraco organization. And hopefully on this webinar, we will be all able to learn more about this and upcoming activities from Umbraco perspective too. So that's on the agenda, worth to mention. And a couple of other things just to recap. New contributions and people feeling Codegarden vibe, hopefully. I don't know, Blake, do you also feel the same after each Codegarden and each event like this, that we are so motivated, we need to do something with it, and then there is some time that stops. So until it's not stopped, we need to feel it. What you are planning to do with your post-Codegarden vibe now?
Yeah, actually checking out definitely some of these packages, and even more opening up the back office project board to try and pick up some issues and see what I can do there, because I gotta work more with these web components and learn this stuff so I can do some more work there. So I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah, and we are all fortunate that we have all a little bit more time now to get familiar with this new back office stuff before it's going to be released. But a lot of people felt relieved when they learned that, oh, it's moved to another release. So yeah, we can get familiar, because I saw some front-end developers who have seen web components for the first time and said, oh no, it looks like React. Run away. But it is a thing, and of course we all need to get familiar to that one.
I need to see some examples before I even attempt to play with the new back office, I think.
Yeah, but there were a couple of good talks on Codegarden about it, and Callum was also talking about some of the frameworks and tools from the backender's perspective, which was interesting, and because it's not a typical backender suite of tools, but also Julia was talking about the UUI components and how Umbraco approached that for their library of components. So it is possible to learn about it, but hands-on learning is usually the best. So yeah, I also plan to be fair to address some kind of custom dashboard ideas and make them with UUI library, which will hopefully make my head around web components a little bit.
It'd be interesting to see if anybody puts AngularJS back into the new back office, to get over that sort of line.
I'm sure there will be someone who is an AngularJS lover, and if it's a framework independent and we have a freedom of doing our own choices, it's not a good thing, not a bad thing to do so. maybe we'll then introduce this person to umbraCoffee and explore this all with the good old reminders of how much fun we had hacking Angular.
I mean, I did once manage to get Angular, one of the later versions, running in the current back office as a web component, but it was only ever a sort of proof of concept that you can do it.
Yeah, we'll see. Creativity has no limit, so I keep fingers crossed for that one. 3 more articles to be mentioned. One coming from Carl about how to load Google Fonts for Umbraco blog grid previews. So something interesting for generating preview and including the Google Fonts out there. Really cool and short blog on how it can be done. And 2 more things from Umbraco this week. Andy wrote a blog post about authorized services, and that's a pretty cool topic. We were discussing with Andy and a couple other Umbraco members last week about what authorization can be done, how we can handle secrets, licensing, and stuff like that. And Andy summarized some of the actions that were done for connecting securely from Umbraco and Umbraco back office towards some of the SaaS products that were integrated with Umbraco already. And if I'm correct, there's a list or the amount of SaaS products that were already supported, more than 25 different SaaS services. So it's proven that it's a good way or a good enough way to connect with. And it's open source repository where we can see how it can be done. And if we have any other SaaS or not SaaS offering or generally authenticated service that requires authorization and tokens to communicate with our solution, we can definitely follow the same path like Andy shared here and align basically on how it can be done. Really cool stuff, and I want to really explore it more because, as I said, there was plenty of like even Shopify here, right, or Primo Dynamics and other things like that, and there's plenty more of them to integrate with Umbraco and maybe communicate with. So we will see how it can be done easy or easier. And last but not least, integration also shared by the partner of Umbraco, which is called Intelligence Bank. And it's a new Umbraco package targeting the DAM ecosystem, which is Digital Asset Management Platform. In this case, Intelligence Bank has a package integration that allows to use their platform with Umbraco and manage the assets, digital assets through Umbraco back office, which is something potentially cool and interesting, especially for people who are looking for the best or the platform that is having a single responsibility, in this case, digital asset management, and they want to use Umbraco, for example, for enhancing this media or maybe using this media on the website. So pretty cool one, and another proof that it can be done really well and can be used across the marketplace and landscape of the solution. So check it out if you are interested with DAM and Intelligence Bank in particular. And that's all what I've collected when it comes to news from this week. Anything you want to add to this list, Blake or Aaron? Anything what I missed? I'm sure I missed something.
That was a long list. You collected a lot of stuff. I'm like still recovering fully with the time zone change.
Oh, yeah.
It's very impressive.
Yeah.
I think you've covered all the things that I've seen around sort of Twitter this week.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. And Ravi only mentioned here that there's a Umbraco London meetup on July 13th, but it's plenty of time. We have still a couple of umbraCoffees before, so we'll remind about it. But yeah, it is there. So yeah, I'm always impressed. Every week we feel we sit down with Callum and think, okay, do we really will have anything to talk about? And then boom, 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 plenty of topics to discuss, and it's still hard to keep up to date with everything. So yeah, definitely. And thank you again, Blake and Aaron, for joining me today. Big kudos, Blake, for you to wake up that early. And I hope that you will turn this into a very productive day, very early morning.
Yes.
And you will be able to maybe catch up on some of the things I shared. Big congrats again for your MVPs and contributions and what you have done recently. And I hope, and I keep fingers crossed for myself and you guys as well, that we'll keep this Codegarden and not only Codegarden vibe going, and we'll be motivated enough to share more with our community. And please reach out to me, Callum, or anyone else if you have anything cool to share, because that's the platform for us to do so. So thank you very much. And yeah, if you want to say anything else, any call to action, any final thought, that's the time for it. And we'll be heading towards the rest of the Friday for us. Anything?
I need coffee.
Me too.
Yeah, I bet.
Me too. And Aaron can get back and play the piano again. I was saying before we went live that you are in the same room like Amy a couple of weeks back. So.
They need to give a few more background choices, I think, when you're choosing.
But thank you for joining me. Thank you all for watching us today. Have a lovely rest of the day, and as usual, see each other on the next umbraCoffee and next Friday. So thanks, Blake. Thanks, Aaron. Have a lovely rest of the day, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye-bye.